Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast, ladies and gentlemen, in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today from the very rainy Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Ladies and gentlemen, at the time of this recording right now, it is 7:25 in the morning. It is a great time to record. As you see, we are out in the elements. It is raining, but that will not stop us. So you can listen to the raindrops while we talk about what we're going to talk about today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is an important episode. Now, I say that quite often, but today, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is very important. So please listen. This episode is about the lessons that you learn from this podcast or the lessons you learn from anywhere. And now, where did I get the inspiration to talk about this stuff today? If you ever watched The Karate Kid, 1984, The Karate Kid, a great movie, you know? And one of the things in the movie is Danielson, he got beat up. He got beat up by these teenage boys, and then he wanted to learn karate. So his mom didn't have any money, so Mr. Miyagi told him he would teach him karate. And so for the first 4 days, Mr. Miyagi had him, standing on the floor, waxing his car, painting the fence, this, that, and the other. And then Danielson, he got mad. He got mad when Mr. Miyagi, in his mind, he didn't teach him any karate lessons yet, In his mind, he was like, "Where's my lessons?" All he thought he was doing was waxing the floor, sanding the floor, painting the fence, and things of that nature. And then, he got mad and he said, "I'm quitting. I'm done with this. I'm not gonna be your GD slave no more." Yada yada yada. But Mr. Miyagi, he stopped him and he told him, he said, "All right, do everything I've been teaching you." And he showed Danielson the correct way to, sand the floor and paint the fence. And what he was doing for those 4 days, not only was he was working, but he was learning karate at the same time. And ladies and gentlemen, I say all that to say, if you don't get anything out of, if you think, because this is a very unique podcast. I'm not one of these people that are gonna teach you straight from point A to point B, There's a lot of other places you can go and learn, copywriting, online marketing, this, that, and the other, This program, you're gonna learn things, but they're not gonna be spoken about often, you know what I mean? The thing about life is sometimes you don't need somebody to tell you what you're learning. If you sit there and you think for yourself, you will see what you can extract out of every situation. Okay, Daniel, he didn't do that. He just thought, "Where's my karate lessons? Because he was blind to the fact, But the whole time, those 4 days, Mr. Miyagi was teaching him about karate defense. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about where's the lesson, where's the lesson that you're getting from different podcasts, different YouTube videos. Where's the lesson? Okay, the lesson is there. You have to extract it for yourself. It might not be, because listen, we all know that nobody really wants to be taught. Nobody wants to be. You don't want me to spend 20 minutes teaching you copyright on the podcast, do you? Probably not. You don't want me to say, now you should do this, you should do that, blah, 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 blah. Or, the marketing move that you should do, the marketing that you should do, blah, blah, blah. So it's about entertaining, it's about telling stories. But the main lesson that if you don't get anything else out of this podcast, the main lesson that you should get every day is because we do this show every day. We've done this show for the last year and a half. You know, I missed a few shows, of course, but for the most part, on a regular basis, I've been there every step of the way. One of the main lessons you should learn from this show is belief in yourself. Hope, belief in yourself, and being consistent. Just showing up on a daily basis. Those are the main takeaways from this show. If you don't get anything else, I don't care. Eventually, we're going to interview people. Eventually, we're going to, as I told you before, you know, we're gonna change. This program is going to evolve. It's going to grow. It's going to do this and that and the other. I don't care about all that. What I care for you, if you ain't gonna learn nothing else from me, it is the fact that you can do this. It does not matter how long it takes. It does not matter, you know, when you're gonna do it. It's you can do it. It's not about anybody else. It's not about your family. It's not about your children. It's not about nothing else. It's about you and what do you want to do. And if you really want to do this, it don't matter. You will be resourceful enough to get things done, you know? Like I told, and we talked about this yesterday. I talked about this yesterday. Spend as much time in your mind on the thing that you want to do as you possibly can, and it will help you so much. But you have to believe that you can do it. You know, there's no you know, don't. I used to tell my wife this. My wife used to say, "I hope," or maybe if you know, if this, if that, you know, blah 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 blah. That stuff does not cut it. You know, you have to know in your mind, like, hey, when I get to blah blah blah, you know. And sometimes it helps if you just say, like now, I'll tell you this. I always say, you know, like I'll stop if I'm at work. Before I go to work, when I'm at work, it does not matter. My number one priority is this business. My number one priority is doing this podcast. My number one priority is being an entrepreneur. That's my number one priority. So if I have to cut out an hour or so at work to do this, then that's what I'm going to do. You know why? Because this is important to me. This is the most important thing besides my wife and my baby. This is my other baby. Okay? This, nothing else. And so you have to have the belief, you know. You have to know that, hey, I'm gonna do this. It might take, some is gonna take longer than others, you know. Some of us are a little slower than others when it comes to picking up steam, picking up stuff, you know, and that's okay. It does not matter how long it takes. But what I want from you is to realize that this podcast, no matter, I can talk about my brother, talk about, you know, a movie, talk about this, talk about that. It does not matter. What the most important thing that you get out of this podcast is there is a way for you to do the same thing that I'm doing. There's a way for you to create content that you want to create. Okay, there's a way for you to get your message out to people. You know, it might be slow. It might not. You know, you're not famous. You're not this. You're not that. It does not matter. It does not matter. Your message will get out to people, you know. If we were all famous, then you know, you probably would give a half-ass effort anyway. You know what I mean? And so people don't realize the best shows. Now, I'm not talking about my show. The best shows come from people who are in the trenches. Okay, not somebody who's done it 30 years ago, not somebody who's done it, you know, 10 years ago, somebody that's doing it right now, because you get the full Monty, okay? You get the full, hey, this guy's in it. This guy's in the fight with me. This young lady's in the fight with me, you know? They're doing the same thing that I'm doing, you know? That's the way to go, you know? And a lot of times, you know, it might take you, because like I said, you go on the Spotify. This Anchor got bought out by Spotify, And so Spotify does a lot of promotion for the podcast. You think they're promoting this podcast? Of course they're not. You know what I mean? Now when I build up a massive audience, Spotify will bend over and kiss my backside. You know. But until then, that ain't happening. I have to build it, and people have to come. You know, I have to market myself. You have to get yourself out there. That's not a big deal. You can do it. But the lessons are there. The lessons are there every day. And I want you to realize I might not bring it up. You might not be said, but the lessons are there in every episode. And you know, the number one lesson is you can do it too. There's the belief system that I want you to have. There's a belief system that is there, and for you to reach out and grab that belief system. And if you don't grab it, then it's never gonna. If you don't believe in you, if you don't look at yourself, as a winner, you don't see yourself doing great things, then it's not going to work. You know, you have to have a real self-image of yourself. And if the self-image is crap, then you're gonna do crappy things. You know, no matter what books you read, no matter how much Tony Robbins, you know, rah rah six boom bye chant you do, you know, you're never gonna get there if you don't have a real clear mental image of yourself. You know, if you don't see yourself as a winner, then winner chicken dinner. You're not gonna do it. Okay, it does not matter how many Facebook, YouTube, speeches you listen to, you know, no matter how many times you listen to Steve Jobs give his speech at Stanford, you know, it ain't gonna work, you know. And so lessons in life, lessons in business, lessons are everywhere. It's up to you to mine them, find them, you know, dig them up, you know. If you just listen to people, you know, if you spend time with people, you listen to their story. There's lessons in their stories. There's lessons on TV. There's lessons in movies. There's lessons in magazines. There's lessons in books. There's lessons in working. There's lessons when you're just sitting there thinking to yourself. There are plenty of lessons everywhere. Okay, and it's clearly up to you to extract them, grab them, write them down, and figure things out, you know, and you will be able to do this, all right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say that sometimes the lessons are hidden, but you'll be able to find them, all right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is it. Back Friday on New Year's Eve with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, listen, and if you have tell a friend to tell a friend. Best podcast at 1, 2, 3 galaxies. This is one of the best podcasts you're gonna listen to. We're out here every day, Monday through Friday, giving you the best knowledge that you can get. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Zano. Thank you for listening. And as